into the holy city.
Yes, you're right. That's where I want it. Go ahead.
Set him on the pinnacle of the temple and said to him, "If you are the Son of God, throw yourself down. For it is written, He shall give his angels charge over you, and in their hands they shall bear you up, lest you dash your foot against a stone."
Isn't that amazing that the tempter will always come and tempt you about the blessing? If you're the Son of God, let me see your power. If you're the Son of God. Go ahead, read verse 2 of that for me, Matthew 2.
And when he had fasted 40 days and 40 nights, afterward he was hungry.
Now, when it talks about fasting, you know, when we go in consecration, we deny. Whether we're denying our flesh television, denying the radio, denying eating for a certain amount of time, and then we're going to substitute it with our study, our meditation. So he denied his flesh. He denied himself, and even when the enemy, the devil, is tempting him, he's tempting him with power, he's tempting him with bread, he's going to tempt him with things, and everything the devil tempts him with is rightfully his. He was trying to get him to get it before the time. That's why in Ecclesiastes 3, chapter 3, turn over there, honey. Y'all going to work me chapter verse, no problem. We're going to be the teacher today. We're going to go in. Because I don't want you, this is what I don't want. I was talking to some leaders earlier today, and what I do not want to be accountable for is being like a bad parent that at dinner time, lunchtime, or breakfast, instead of giving you a wholesome meal, I gave you a lot of candy. Now, let me tell you what happens with candy, you all. Candy causes, you ever seen a child that eat a lot of candy, a lot of sweets? They get this energy. Y'all never seen that? Y'all never seen that? They get this energy. They start bouncing off the wall. They start running around. They start playing and hollering and screaming. Why? That sugar rush, right? So now what's happening is, if we're not careful, we get a sugar rush high when it comes to ministry. Now listen to me very carefully. You get this sugar rush high when it comes to ministry. That means you come in, you jump, you holler, you get that good injection about all that's coming to you. And you never get in it, you didn't get the meat part, told you what you got to do, the prerequisites. The meal that balances it. So with a sugar high, you go way up. Matter of fact, I can have them hit the keyboard in a minute, and I can have them go for a moment and really hit some key songs and stuff like that, and you'll get a sugar high in your emotions. It don't have nothing to do with your spirit. You start, I'm telling you, if you go too long, your body get to irking and jerking. You hollering, screaming, you turning around, you flipping your weave on one side of your head. You jumping up talking about you felt the Holy Ghost, you got the Holy Ghost. I don't know what you got. Because you got it, you went down a sinner, you came back up a sinner. But what a sugar high does, it takes you way up, and then it drops you way down. So the average person today, not everywhere, the average person today is having good, what's called good church. They're going way up, and then after they get out of the service and go back to their life, they go way down. And sometimes when they way up, they do stupid things because they're high on the sugar. And so that's why some Christians 30 years, 20 years, 40 years in, promises and things that were made, they never see it because they were never trained to be able to walk this thing out. Psalms 37 talks about the steps of a righteous man, a righteous woman being ordered of the Lord. So I need you to see this, because as we get ready to read this chapter, there's some things that's going to be causing your eyes to open up. And I'm talking about your spiritual eyes and your spiritual ears, because there's an inheritance that's waiting for you, but you might have been on the wrong path, but you were still with God. You can love God, be on fire for God, and still be on the wrong path. Okay? Where we at, honey? Go ahead, 3, verse 1.
To everything there is a season.
Read that again.
To everything there is a season.
Read it again.
To everything there is a season.
Now slow it down and read it real slow.
To everything there is a season.
Go ahead.
A time for every purpose under heaven.
Read that portion again.
A time for every purpose under heaven.
Now read the whole thing together.
To everything,
Everything. Go ahead.
there is a season,
There is a season.
a time for every purpose
Time for every purpose
under heaven,
under heaven. Read.
a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck what is planted, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build up, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance.
Now, how many in here, as you're sitting here reading the list of all the different times and seasons, can agree that you've seen these times and seasons? There's been times people we love did not want to see them pass on, and we still, the time came and we had to bury. There's nothing we can do about it, right? So here, what we're learning in the book of Ecclesiastes is there's a season and time for everything. But what happens when 20 years out, 30 years out, 40 years out, the manifestation still has not come? It's because when things are done out of order, our steps get misconstrued and we end up on the wrong pathway, still going to heaven, still love God, but we never possess what he's promised we shall have. God is not man. That means he cannot lie. If his word says it, it's coming to pass. So God wanted me to let you all know there are some promises that he has for all of you in this house. And many of you may not have seen it as of yet. Or you may have come to a place where you have experienced so much of it. You haven't seen anything yet. The best is in front of you. Your next step of expectation, listen to what I'm saying. Your next step of expectation will bring you a manifestation of God's goodness that's going to blow your mind. But if you make a step and there is no expectation, even if it happens, you ain't going to see God.